Welcome to Chats at the Box, gentlemen. I'm Timothy. I'm the credit management consultant or expert at Sandbox. We're living the village formula, and today we're basically here to try and talk about matters finance in this day and age of the coronavirus. What it is we're doing as businesses, what are we telling our clients, and basically the way forward. So, karibuni.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Yes, maybe you can start by introducing yourselves, tell us who you are, what you do, briefly, then we can now get into it in the different areas of
Thank you,
specialization.
Timothy. I'm Eric Kinoti. I'm a tax expert. We try and advise businesses on how to basically avoid tax risks and also plan their taxes better. Planning is basically ensuring you have more money in your pocket within the law. Yeah, and I'm happy to be here.
I like that.
It's a good qualifier.
Yes. Yes.
So thanks, Timothy, for having us. I appreciate it. My name is Sancho Kibutu. I'm the finance accounting guy at the village.
Yeah.
So basically helping businesses with their business strategies around finance and accounting. I think it's a good discussion because of what's been happening in society so far. I noticed that I've been getting a lot of calls from my clients, friends, and their first question is, okay, what happens now? What do I do? So everybody's going into this panic mode, and it's really a bit tough for us for the economy in the short term and long term. So it will be interesting to see how this thing plays out.
Okay. Now let's think about this from a small business perspective, medium, and probably large. So if it cuts across all three, you can talk about whether it cuts across all three, or you can go specific into the small, medium, or large. Let's start with finance and go to tax, then maybe we can talk a bit about credit for the issues which you've not talked about. So what are the key things that they need to be thinking about, that they need to be doing at this time?
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll start from maybe taking a look at the business overall. One of the things that I've noticed is a lot of people in business tend to look for opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
So yesterday I met a friend who's thinking about moving their resources from their current main line of business into the products that have shot up in
sanitizer,
yes,
tissue paper, masks and that kind of a thing.
That's right.
Yeah.
And so one of the things I was, and this is it's an SME, it's a smaller business.
Yes.
So one of the things I was cautioning my friend was that for every situation there's a cyclical curve.
Yes.
Right? So you've got to be careful when you pull out resources from your mainstay business to buy 3-ply masks, because the cost of masks has moved from 200 shillings a packet to 3,000, 7,000 shillings per packet. So I think people are looking at this as a frenzied opportunity to make money. I caution them about being careful about when they're buying, because you could buy high.
Yes.
And have no market. You're not going to buy your masks in 2 weeks, in 3 weeks. So the market will be flooded with cheaper masks because China is up and producing. So that's one of the things that I talked about is, as a business owner, we should really focus on staying the course, because what we're going through today is it's a point in time. Your business should not change because of blips or points in time.
Okay.
Your typical corporate will not do that, because they've got a solid foundation, so they're not going to start moving money around to buy masks and sanitizer. But the people that we should be careful around, the SMEs and the mid-sized businesses, be careful about that, making sure that you're doing the smart thing, being clear on what the long-term strategy is, because you look at the Chinese, they're back in business.
Yes.
The factories are back up and running.
Yes.
The world will still eat bananas. The world will still buy socks. So these are things that we've got to be very careful about. We need to be able to know that the resources that you have are limited. And we should focus on making sure that you're clear on what happens the day after we're allowed to freely engage with other people in our community.
Okay, so basically get ready for the day when this crisis, this unprecedented event is
That's
over.
right, that's
Get
right.
ready for that point in
That's
time.
right, that's right. And even in this, one thing I told them is, during this period of time where you're sitting back, is a time to reflect.
Yeah.
Look at your business internally, look at things that
Mm.
have worked and not worked, internalize and be able to start to think when the time comes,
Yeah.
what will I do
Mm.
that will enhance my offering,
Yeah.
that will enhance my business's strategies.
Okay.
So there's some of the things that we've been talking about.
Okay.
Maybe just to add before even talk about tax. It's also a time for most businesses to look at, if I'm used to brick and mortar, is there a way I can embrace, like for instance, technology is working for most businesses.
Yes.
So if I'm providing, like I have a client who's providing trainings, and it involved her traveling to different countries.
Yeah.
Right now, she's considering taking the training virtually. Because people had already committed.
Correct.
And at the end of the day, I believe it's the value you get, not the person being there physically.
Correct.
Now, looking at the tax side of business, I know the government has come up with a few raft of measures, and it would not be fair not to at least mention on that, if as a tax person.
Yes.
So, for instance, if I'll just cover the three main areas that changes were made. So when we talk about small businesses, there are people under turnover tax. And these are businesses that have a revenue of below 5 million.
Yeah.
They are required to pay, it came into play from 1st of January. They will be required to make a monthly payment of 3% of your sales.
Yeah.
So that was reduced to 1%. But maybe to put a disclaimer, we are hoping that it will come into effect 1st of April, once Parliament passes the bill that Treasury is going to table.
And this is a final tax?
This will be now final tax.
It's a final tax, so we don't need to do any other income tax,
else,
whatever. Okay.
But now for other businesses, small businesses and large businesses, the rate has been reduced from 30 to 25. Basically putting businesses to have more money in their pockets, which also has an economic advantage to other, because if I have more to spend or more put back, I can be able to either engineer where I do business or maybe put measures to run my business more efficiently. But now the question that I've been getting is that, so does this mean that if I had, I'm supposed to file my returns for 2019, will I pay taxes based on 25? Because I think Kenyans just had that bit of taxes have been reduced from 30 to 25. So what I've been telling guys is that if this comes into effect, let's say from 1st of April, it will only apply to businesses maybe that have April year end. So what happens is that if you are December year end, we say you pay a balance of tax within 4 months, so by April. So if you had an obligation for last year, 2019, just know that you are still required to pay by 30th, and then file your return by June. Now there's a complication there because some people, they can't conduct the audits. Because maybe given the nature of their businesses, the auditor cannot access. And we're encouraging people to stay at home. Would have maybe done this by being at home. We're trying to make it interactive. So what that means is that at least the law allows you to request for, now I've gone to the planning side of it. So your obligations, if you are December year end, you have to file your return by June and pay any taxes due by 30th of April. However, the law, we have what we call the Tax Procedures Act. It allows you to seek for extension if its returns are going to be late. You suspect that you will not have done your audit by then, you can write to the commissioner and you're able to request for an extension. And then when it comes to tax payments, also to combine with the cash flow management, there's also room to ask for a payment plan. That is provided by law. And KRA are always open to listen to you.
I think one of the things that is coming out is that if you are clueless or you're not sure about your issues around tax or your issues around managing of your cash flows, how to manage the financial side of your business, then I think it's important to note that we have people here who can actually take you through whatever steps it is So people shouldn't be sitting out there wondering what it is they're going to do. From my perspective, and as far as credit is concerned, and I know you guys will always agree with this, especially you always agree with this. Cash flow is king at this point in time. Cash flow is king, and so from the credit perspective, every business is a creditor and every business is a debtor.
Correct. Yeah, true.
So when it comes to your debtors, the people who owe you money, you have to be proactive. You have to seek them out. Understand that yes, there are issues as far as raising of funds is concerned, but as a business, you need to be proactive about contacting the people who owe you money, getting into payment plans with them. For some people, I'd like to say you need to categorize the people who owe you money. So you have individuals, you have small businesses, you have large businesses. Your strategy for each of those categories is going to be different. You have to understand that individuals and small businesses are going to be trying to hold back as much money as possible because they are uncertain. But for the large businesses, which are in a position to make payments, those are people who you should be, pushing to get your payments out as quickly as possible, especially if you're a small business. Your approach to them should, one, be to ensure that you maintain your communication with them,
Correct.
understanding what is going on at this point in time,
Correct.
but also priming yourself so that when things get better, you're at the top of their mind. So they don't forget about you. It's very easy because right now everyone is prioritizing. We're prioritizing keeping the lights open, keeping the lights on. We're prioritizing paying our employees. Because they're not working and they're working off-site, maybe we're reducing the amounts of money we're paying them. That's still a negotiation because those are people who you owe money, and so you need to negotiate with them. The same thing with your bank. If you have bank loans, you need to get out of. Now this is on the side of where you're the debtor, and so you have creditors. If you have bank loans, you need to go and sit down and negotiate with them. Right now, banks are very open to this, especially if you have good credit. You want to maintain that. You want to retire all your expensive and bad in quotes debt. Things like expensive ODs for individuals. If you have credit cards and you don't know when your next income is coming and you don't have regular income, keep aside that credit card. Avoid mobile loans. Those things are going to suck the money out of these very expensive loans. And if you're in a position to negotiate your expensive debt as you retire it into better, like term loans. So longer period of time. If the bank is offering 1 year to repay additional, please go and take it. Don't sit back and wait for the bank to call you. So
the day things are thick.
The day things are thick is when you're going to know that you should have talked to the bank. So my take home for everyone is be proactive about your financial situation. Because at the end of the day, when we get out of this crisis, the people with the most money and the people who have survived it are the ones who are going to reap the most out of it. So one way of managing those cash flows from the credit management perspective, both as a debtor and as a creditor, is be proactive. Talk to the people who owe you. Delay, if possible, delay or make sure that your payments, pay as little as possible. But keep in mind, as you do this, selfishly, you have to do it selfishly, that as a business you pay out as little as possible. But remember that there are other businesses which are relying on your money. And like when it comes to things like loans, if you want to maintain your good credit, because that's essential to your business. For example, if your repayment was 100,000 shillings a month, you need to come and sit down with someone like Sancho here, figure out what your tolerance is as far as your cash flows and your repayments are concerned. Because maybe you've reduced your cash flows by 50% and you can only pay X amount in terms of your loan. Go sit down with your bank, with your relationship manager. First, figure out how much you can pay. Then sit down with your relationship manager and negotiate, and then make sure those payments come in. So that at the end of this, you have good credit history. You've probably retired all your bad debts. You've trimmed down your staff and your costs, and you're basically in a better position. That's from my side.
There's a question. There are question of balance.
Well, I think as a business, in a sense, you have to take, as I said, you take the selfish perspective because you want to maintain as much You want to pay as little as you can,
Yes.
but collect as much as you can.
Correct.
And at the end of the day, we are always selfish. When you look at it from a tax perspective, you want to pay as little tax as possible within the law.
It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah?
It's true.
When you look at finance from the finance perspective, you want to borrow as much money as possible and pay as little interest as possible.
Correct.
So that's the same overriding, selfish in quotes, perspective that we have to take on this. But always make your payments. If you have a loan and you have the cash flow to continue making your repayments, make them, you can go and negotiate a longer term, but try and retire this as quickly as possible. Why? Because at the end of this period, you want to be the business which is the healthiest.
Correct. Yeah, true.
So that's I think what I'd advise people. So it might not be, you can't take a cookie cutter approach and say, everyone reduce the amount you're paying. Some people are very cash heavy right now. They have the cash, they can afford it. And there are some who are really,
and their business is thriving.
There are businesses which are thriving. When you look at the businesses which have like deliveries, they're thriving.
Correct.
And so when you talked about your friends who are looking at what to do,
Shifting capital.
don't try and think so far away from what it is you're doing.
Correct.
Try and look at what is happening right now. Can you do trainings online?
Yes.
I think it's people trying to change their business. It's more of a survival technique.
It's more of a survival.
It is human nature. We are thinking,
It is.
if my business is hit right now,
Yeah.
instead of taking time to look at how can I improve my process.
Yes. Because that's what you should be doing, looking at a way of improving your process. Yeah.
Adapting to a situation. I think so. Timothy, we were talking about that, and I was thinking about the balance, right? So we're telling businesses to spend their money.
Now, and you see,
At the same time, the cash is king.
Cash,
So
yes.
where's the balance, right? So
maybe you should answer that question because that's where you come in. So thank you for asking that excellent question. Now go ahead and answer it.
So I was reading an article. I was listening to Sancho Kibutu talking about this. One thing he said that's very important for leaders today in this crisis situation, in this crisis environment, is not to forget our humanity. Yes, money is important, business is important, but not forget our humanity. Which means you can't hoard money in your account.
Yes.
Focusing on coming out of this thing looking good, while your watchman, your cleaner, your messenger, the people who've supported you in building this wealth are starving in their homes.
Absolutely.
Right? So let's first talk about that as finance people. Let's be honest. Finance, unfortunately, and humanity are they tend to clash. They tend to clash.
Yes.
I strongly believe that the more human we are, the more we'll get that self-actualization attitude will come out and benefit us in the long run.
Yes.
So when we talk about the balance, I think first and foremost, highest on your list of prioritization for people to take care of our people.
Yes.
Take care of people.
Take care of your people.
Right?
Yes.
Take care of people.
Yes.
Rent, stima, maji, while they are important obligations, they should never supersede people. Bank payments should never supersede people. So I think that for me is one thing that I've been quietly observing. We've got a lot of people who depend on us, people that can't make it to our homes, can't make it to offices, but still required to live. They still have to buy food for their children. They still have to get electricity tokens. So there's some things that we're going to feel a pinch in sacrificing.
And that's actually what I was talking about. Having a very good idea of what your cash flows are at that point in time, because then you prioritize and say, I must pay my salaries.
Correct.
And then now from there your allocations go. But make sure you do something. If you have a postpaid electricity account, make sure you pay something towards your postpaid electricity. So that at the end of this, you don't come out of it and you're suddenly hit with these huge bills. And the economy is not just going to pick up and run from where it was. It's going to start, we still have a locust infestation, which we're not talking about. We still have economic slowdown, which we are not talking about, which was already happening. Now,
the government is not spending as much as it was.
Exactly.
So that people are not feeling that cash trickling down into the markets. But I think as businesses, we have to be cognizant of a couple of things.
Yeah.
Of course, people are there, as mentioning, as you prioritize, as you create that balance.
Yes.
There are very many things that businesses do that are non-essential.
Yes.
So there are leisure activities. Like we're talking with Eric today about golf.
Yeah.
Things like golf,
Yes.
we stop doing.
Yes.
We've been told to stop going out to the clubs.
Yes.
That money can
Money,
be reallocated.
Yeah. And actually, to add on that, there's the aspect of, even from a business perspective, and now bringing in even tax.
Yes.
Look at ways you can provide your help during this period.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
And there are, like the fund that was set up yesterday,
Yes.
the COVID-19 fund
Yes.
by the president.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a business and you contribute to that fund,
Mm-hmm.
definitely you get a tax break.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
So why not take advantage of such things?
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, you get free PR. I know
Yes.
at the end of the day, everything has a positive and a negative.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
why not take advantage of that?
Okay.
As a business, make your donation. Then you're able to also, your company is known that, because I'm sure they'll be publishing,
Yeah.
that Sandbox donated this
Yeah.
amount
Yeah.
of money.
Yeah.
So when it comes to filing the return,
Mm-hmm.
we are seeing it was a donation, because what the law provides is that if you donate to an organization that is tax relief, or where the cabinet secretary has given an exemption to that organization, or a government-run fund,
Mm-hmm.
then you're able to get tax breaks. What does that mean? You pay less taxes.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you've covered your CSR.
Yeah.
Because as a business, I believe we have to cover the social aspect of our business
Yeah.
at any one point. And why not take advantage of the proposals that are coming up?
Okay. Okay. I'd like us to wrap up. Basically, for me, my take home for people would be proactive at this point in time. Get in touch with your debtors. Get in touch with your creditors. Your debtors are, and basically starting from home, starting with the people who work for you, the people who depend on your business, and moving out to the people whom your business depends on.
Yes.
Get proactive, start talking to them, work on settlements which work for everybody,
Yes.
and let's try and do the best, with given this situation that we're in. Yeah.
I like that. And
Yeah.
you made me feel like I should run and go collect.
You really should. You really should. Don't let this period be the time when people make excuses and you just accept
you
them.
accept them.
Yeah,
Right.
be
Right.
at the forefront of their mind,
Yes,
and
yes.
with as much understanding as possible, because when you keep communication, then it's easy to do collection.
Yes, that's true.
But
I like
when that communication
Communication, yeah,
breaks,
yeah.
then you now have to start thinking about going doing litigation,
Yes,
that kind of a thing.
yes,
And
yes.
incidentally,
Leaves you with the bad blood.
it leaves with a lot of bad blood. And here within the Sandbox, we still have we do have the legal team that's here, so there's still options of mediation.
Yes.
If you have cases in court where you are collecting or you're trying to you're fighting, there's alternative dispute resolution which people can actually sit down and agree on a win-win. So some of those things we can actually be thinking about at this point in time. Like you said, we need a reset and a pause to think about such things.
Yes,
So
yes,
we can also forget about some of the things which have been hurting our businesses.
It's true.
Yeah.
Very, very true.
Yeah.
Very true.
Cool. So you take home?
I'll let the tax guy give us good secrets so that we can.
He gave us a really good one. I hadn't thought about it when you're working with a registered charity,
Yes.
or one that is allowed to
Yes.
funnel some tunes. And
So
get
unfortunately, my take and maybe something to just drum home is that when it comes to taxes, as they say, tax and debt are certain. So
Yeah.
in our Kenyan context, and given the measures that our president proposed, what that leaves is that we still have to pay our taxes,
Yep.
and we still have to file our returns. No matter if you're working remotely or you had to close your business, those obligations are there. And the other bit is that even with the issues that you have, maybe Kiari have written to you, don't ignore them.
Yeah.
Start dealing with them. And some issues can be dealt with even remotely, because even then they put measures to just limit the number of people who are going to the offices.
Yeah.
So that's on the compliance side. On the planning side, there are many aspects that you can be able to apply.
Mm-hmm.
If you are a business, maybe you are proposing to pay dividends or pay bonuses based on last year. Those are things that you can decide to pay at a later date.
Yes.
And this one now I'm bringing in from the finance or the credit aspect. Because by you not paying your creditors, we need the relationships to build our business.
Yes,
For
absolutely.
me to sell to someone a service, they also have to feel that this is a relationship that I'm building.
Yeah.
So from the tax side, so remember the compliance obligations that are there. They're not moving. The dates are cast on stone unless something happens and the government issues another directive where the treasury decides let's prolong or extend the deadlines. But as I said before, even before that happens, be proactive. If you realize you might have a delay in filing your returns, our law provides, our Tax Procedures Act provides for that opportunity where you write to a commissioner and seek a reasonable extension. And right now there will be understanding.
Yes.
Most businesses, we are working from home. Some audits cannot be concluded because they involve human involvement, the interactions which we are being told to limit. Then the planning aspect of it, it's looking at if I've been doing certain things in this way, how can I mitigate that? If I'm a business owner, I've been drawing a salary, can I stop even accruing the salary because I still have to pay PAYE? And maybe reconsider when business comes back and it's operating well. Why not now pay myself and then pay the taxes at that time? So there are many things to think about. And the good thing is that also at the Sandbox, we keep on sharing articles on ways from a tax perspective you can be able to better plan.
Okay, awesome.
That's really great.
I felt like a preacher.
So I think I'll keep it brief, Timothy. One thing that I want business owners to be clear on is, I keep re-emphasizing, this is a moment in time. How would my business look like after? The day after we are told everything is well, go about your day, go about your business. What will your business look like? So this is an opportunity for people to take stock of their business, look at trimming some of the dead weight, looking at improving efficiencies, looking at adapting. Because one thing that we've seen from this, or we've been taught from this situation, is that Kenyans are really moving towards the digital aspect of doing things. People are. It's really much more easier for people to request for services using their phones, respond to questions or queries using emails and things of that nature, WhatsApp. So the faster social media, so the faster businesses adapt to technology and use it as part of the efficiency tool that allows them to reach a wider audience, grow their market share, and improve on their bottom line. I think that's what I would say. Take stock while you're at home now, since we're not working from the office, and come out bigger, better, stronger when the doors are open to people to allow people to trade. That would be my feedback.
That's cool. Sawa.
Yes.
Thank you so much, gentlemen, for coming together at the Fireside Chat. We were basically looking at things from a finance and accounting perspective, tax and credit management. So until next time, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Right.
Sure.